a speaker came up here and spoke about Bacchus Matthews. Unfortunately, he's not here because he will be the best evidence. But those who know him well, and we have to talk about him, because history will be incomplete in Liberia, contemporary history, if his name is not mentioned, but we want the right things to be said. So I'm asking you this because you preached his funeral in September, I think, last year.
I did.
And you told the public about Bacchus Matthews, and but how did he get this color? How did he go to United States? Someone talked here, but it was different from what you said. How he went to United States and he talked about some boat and what that boat meant.
Yes.
Trying to construct the country of Liberia. So already in his head he had it. Could you just that portion tell us how he got his scholarship, what he went to do, what he did for Tolbert to see? Please, just for the public, for our records.
At that time of his going to the States, I was not here. I was doing my studies in Nigeria, I think. And it is said that at a certain time, Tolbert requested that students of high school age should tell him in a formal way what they would like to study. And we are told that he made out of this baboon stick, you know, the one they take to make mats.
Yes.
And he fixed a little ship. And this thing was so perfect that Tolbert admired it. And he asked young Bacchus Matthews, what would you like to do? And he said, I would like to learn how to build ships. I love ships. So I would like to build ships. So he is said by people who knew him at the time that he won this scholarship to go to America to learn shipbuilding. But when he got there, he was advised by people around there that shipbuilding is not an easy profession. Poor boy like you, where will you get that kind of a scholarship to learn how to build ships? So he branched off to other studies, perhaps political science, government, or something else. So my interpretation at that sermon was, this kind of a ship that Bacchus Matthews was talking about is not the one that swims in the seas, but it was an imaginary ship, the ship of state, the ship of state. So that when he came back as a student of whatever he was studying there to ask the government, his question was, I went to America to build a ship. I couldn't find supporters to go into that profession. But something else has cropped to my mind, and that is the ship of state. Since this republic was launched as a ship of state, what is wrong with our ship of state? That's the time I refer to a Little Providence Baptist Church behind me, few steps behind me. I said that ship of state was launched a few yards behind me in that Little Providence Baptist Church on that date when the Constitution was written. And by the Constitution, the state of the
Ship of state.
the ship of state was launched. So what Bacchus Matthews came here to find out, was it the water around the ship that was stagnant and couldn't be plied by a ship? Or was something wrong with those who were placed on board the ship to conduct it? Was something wrong with them? Why is our ship of state not moving at all? That's the question I put to them. Why is it not moving at all? And I got a smile from my daughter, my little sister, I call her. From the president, I got a smile from her. Something was wrong with the waters around that ship. Otherwise, why is it stuck up in Liberia here? Why other ships of state are plying the oceans? What was wrong? And because they didn't understand Baccus, they thought that he had come to disturb the government. They didn't understand him. So they prosecuted him. He got so much afraid that he had offended, and they were holding him responsible for the outbreak of April 1979, for that demonstration in which so many people were shot by the presidential guard. Blood was shed on that day. And so that launched our civil war. Isn't that so? April the 12th led to April the 14th, 1979, led to April the 12th, 1980. 1980 led to 1985, Fuokpa returns. So it's like a chain. History is like a chain. One link is the cause of the other link. Then the other link is the effect of this other link. Cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. And we have our long chain today. We have our long chain today. So please, understand Bacchus Matthews' position. If President Tolbert had understood him to mean, I am checking on the people who are running the ship of state here. Why have they remained so stagnant, so unprogressive, so retarded? And look around us, how people are making progress with their national ship. Why is our own not making progress? You don't go to rebel against your government by taking women and children, young people with you to go to the executive mansion. What kind of rebel ever did that? When he went to the mansion that time to ask, that's something the president should examine our historical records and do something about it. We wanted, he declared to him, we wanted a multi-party state. A state can have opposition and government, so that we argue like in a debate. You argue your point backward and forward. That's what he wanted to find out. And he was practically told there is no place here for debate, for multi-party system. We are going to continue our own monoparty system. When the government says, so say one,
So say
everybody answer,
so
say all. We don't want that party system. We don't want that kind of a system. Please change your government, examine your government, Mr. President, and see to it. Baccus was put down as a rebel. Now everybody is saying, that Doe wanted Baccus to be president. Then I asked myself, once that person tasted how sweet presidency is, where did he tell Baccus? What did he tell Baccus? All he could make him was foreign minister for his government. He never told Baccus anything like that. The only thing Baccus did, for which he was respected, not only by the very Doe government, but the government that followed him, they all had a big esteem for that man, Bacchus Matthews. They had it. They never touched him. In fact, what they were doing, each was giving him a little bit of where he will find his daily bread, here and there, because they respected him for his talent. So they catered to him, they took care of him, giving him different jobs, and he survived all of them until his death came, natural death. He was sick. I guess he was tired, frustration. He was as poor as I am. He was leasing houses, renting houses all around the place. When I wanted to get deeper into his life, I asked a young man who was very close to him, and his name was Pompon. Pompon was his disciple. I said, why Baccus never built a house for himself? He said, Father, that man had no money with which to build a house for himself, and I'm witnessing to it. And he gave me 2 instances where some foreigners mysteriously came to this country when he was down to earth and had nothing. They tried to bribe him with bag full of $100 bills. He said if we had the time to take out that money and count it, it would have been a couple of $1 million. That's what Pompon told me. He said the man looked at the money. First they just put it on his table while they were trying to get a job from him. And when he asked them what this was for, they wanted to be the only bidders to bring in some business of making passports. They wanted to make passports for Liberia. They said they were good at it. So Baccus asked them, is that why you brought this thing for? They said, yes. Because you can get that job for us, so we'll make the passport. He said, all right. Now take your money, put it back in your bag. I won't even count it. Take your money and get out of my office. That's the kind of a man he was. He didn't want any money from anybody to keep him from exercising his duties. Another group came again. They wanted something else. And the same thing Baccus did to them. And they went away shamefaced. So, that was what made Baccus to be what he is. And if you want to know why he was that, he was convinced in his mind that nothing must take precedence over his nationalism, over his patriotism. He was a patriot, as I am. I love my country. That is all there is to it. I'm not a nationalist. A nationalist is a narrow-minded person who thinks his nation should be everything in every place.